Hi, thank you for joining us. With us is Courtney Smith, the Director of Client Success at Tyler Technologies. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Thanks, Ben. How are you?
I'm doing quite well. It's a little bit cold here in Connecticut, but at least it's sunny, so I can't complain. Uh,
Great.
why don't we dive right in? Why don't you tell us about yourself, where you're from, and how you got to where you are?
Sure. So, Courtney Smith, I'm the Director of Client Success here at Tyler Technologies, which is a Fortune 500 Gov Tech company. I'm originally from Baltimore, Maryland, but now living in Seattle, Washington. And just to share a little bit about my journey, I actually started my career in philanthropy and in the social impact space, but made my way into tech, as people do, and started at a startup where I joined as an initial client success manager, which they didn't have at the time. The startup was acquired within my first year there by Tyler Technologies, and as the team grew, I was able to take on increasing leadership roles and really work to build out the team, bring in best practices, and get to play a big role in establishing customer success within that organization after the acquisition, which has been really wonderful.
Yeah, that sounds great. Let's talk more about that. After the acquisition and when you first got this leadership role in customer success, what did you do the first 100 days, and what would you recommend somebody in your position do in the first 100 days?
Sure. So I think there's a few different things that both I did and what I'd recommend to others because you always learn by doing. And so after the fact, I'm sure there's things I could have done differently. Um, but what I found to be most important is first and foremost understanding who your customers are and what their needs are, and really if it's a product that has they've been using for a while, are they happy? Are they happy with the solution? Are they happy with the product? And what sort of gaps might they have in that experience? But the other part that I think is really critical, and one of the reasons why I really enjoy being in customer success is every single role across the organization has an impact on the customer, and every single function across the organization has an impact on the customer. And so, really getting to know your peers and understanding what their priorities are, what motivates them, is really critical. Because at the end of the day, if you are the one responsible for the customer's overall satisfaction and happiness, you need to understand how the decisions around you are being made, and how you can help to partner with your peers to ultimately improve the full customer experience.
Yeah, and you want to learn that quick, right? You don't want to be 6, 8 months in just figuring that out. So I think that's a good focus for the first 100 days. Now that you've been there 100 days, what is your current strategy and what's your future strategy for customer success?
Sure. So we're kind of in an interesting place right now. And as I mentioned, I spent the first few years really like building out and scaling the team. Tyler actually has, as a business, acquired a number of companies over the years and turned them into different divisions. And the company's overall strategy moving forward is actually to start to bring everyone together as more of a one Tyler type experience. And so I kind of have two things that that I'm doing in the CS world. One is for our division's customers, I'm leading the integration strategy to bring those customers closer to the rest of the Tyler um, product suite and customer experience. Um, on the other side, however, we're also thinking as an entire company working across different divisions to how do we create one cohesive experience for the
Mhm.
customer. So when someone is interacting with Tyler, they are interacting with all of Tyler from a more holistic sense rather than coming into Tyler and only interacting with one division or one product line. Um, so really, my strategy is focused on those two areas right now, and a little bit of trying to tackle both at once.
Yeah, yeah. How do you measure success? Those are pretty unique strategies, right? And it's got to be hard to make something tangible to reference for that. So how do you measure the success of these initiatives?
Yeah, so the integration strategy is a little bit more further along and built out, and the most critical success metrics we're looking at are really just ideally keeping net revenue retention, and a net revenue retention is defined a little bit differently here. I think first and foremost, we have a churn number that we forecast every year. We want to keep churn below that number for our customers. We'd like to retain our customers, retain the revenue that we have. But in addition to that, as we look at this integration, we're looking at how do we grow the product suites that each of our customers are having. So instead of continuing to sell through one division, how do we work more with our cross-divisional partners to sell additional Tyler product lines into this customer account? And
Hmm.
so net revenue retention is moving from the revenue that they were paying for one specific product and one specific division to what does the net revenue retention across all of our Tyler product lines look like for these customers?
Hmm.
Um, for the more like holistic strategy, we don't really have metrics yet because that's so early stage. But I think some of the most critical things are going to be looking at the CSAT scores and NPS and making sure initially customer satisfaction is positive one, while we're also continuing to maintain that net revenue retention.
That makes a lot of sense. Um, how do you get buy-in from the C-suite when you're doing all of this? It sounds like some of the directives are coming up from there, but if you want to push something, what do you have to do to get them to listen and buy in?
Yeah, I think it's not too different from again how you work with any of your peers. It's understanding what are their goals and motivations and the initiatives that they are running, and how does the work that customer success or client success is doing either help to further those initiatives, or conversely, like where could it conflict and create some challenges that might actually hinder the progress of those initiatives. So really being able to do that, and I think most critically is being able to tell that story with numbers, with data.
Yep.
That's where I've found it has the biggest impact, and so being able to tell that in a compelling way with the data that you have available.
You mentioned there's some challenges that you run into. Let's talk about that a little bit more. What kind of pain points occur when you're leading a customer success team?
Sure. I mean, leading any team, there can be different pain points. I think right now, what I've mentioned with our strategy and our current state, we're just experiencing a lot of change as a company, and customers feel that. We're
Hmm.
making changes to our product direction. We're making changes to how we operate and how we manage our customers. Um, and so that creates pain points for the team. It creates pain points for our customers, and it's definitely can be challenging. But I think with that change also comes opportunity, and so it's balancing the I think the pain points and the pain you experience from the change with the opportunity at hand, and being able to again tell that compelling narrative around um, what opportunities will be brought for both the individuals you're managing as part of a team, but also the customers who ultimately you're working to support.
Yeah. Do you have an example where you've used customer feedback to improve your company?
Sure. Yes. So one that comes to mind that we've seen through is we so all of our customers are government customers, and the way that our product works is we typically have a number of champions that we use, but there's additional stakeholders and users of that software, both internally within the government, but also externally with the public constituents. Um, so we were getting feedback from customers that whenever we had a product release, it was coming too often. They were getting surprised by releases, and it was making changes to things that they've built that
Mhm.
they had shared with the public or shared with internal stakeholders, and causing challenges for them. So based on this feedback, we were actually able to change our market release cycle, and we went from a bi-weekly to actually a bi-monthly cycle, and that allowed us really to communicate and provide a little bit more communication up front for our customers around, hey, this is what's going to be released. This is what you can expect. Here's how you can start to learn about this. Here's the use case receive from these features that will be released, but also on the back end, allow our customers to then take that to their internal and external stakeholders and say, hey, these new features have been released. Let me teach you how to use them and help to ultimately drive adoption for the customers as well, which has been really great. I'll also share that the work that we were doing to think about a more holistic account experience has come from customer feedback.
Hmm.
So that's again customers saying, "Hey, we have multiple Tyler systems, but we always have to go to someone else
Yeah.
to get support." And we want to be able to go to one person. We want to be able to come to Tyler and get help rather than having to navigate the internal Tyler networks.
Yeah, I talked to somebody from Cisco, and they have the same kind of thing with their silos and their different products. Having too many support people that they have to contact.
Yeah.
But they're working on it just like you are, so it's a common problem. What do you think is the future of customer success?
Sure. I think there's a few things I'm excited about in customer success. Excited to see how they play out. I think one thing, like certainly the tech industry is experiencing some challenges with the current economic state, and I'm hearing more and more about how to either monetize customer success or how to bring CSMs closer to renewals and expansion. Um, I think that's something that kind of ebbs and flows, but in the near term, it seems like and there is an increase in CSMs really having revenue targets of some kind. Um, but the other thing that I'm really excited about and continuing to learn about is just how AI can play a role in customer
Hmm.
success and the
Hmm.
customer experience. Um, it's been fun on my own to just start exploring some of the different AI tools that are out there and playing around with ways to do better data and analytics, to do better communication to our customers, and to be able to really support customers in new ways and learn about our customers in new ways. So I'm excited to see both how we can continue to be creative in utilizing the tools that are out there, but also what new tools come out to
Hmm.
support that type of experience.
Yeah, there's going to be a slew of AI solutions for everybody really, really soon. It's exciting.
Yeah.
I know it's made my job easier. Um, what else should we know about you?
Sure. Well, I am a mother, and I actually recently I'm just returning from maternity leave, so it's really important for me to support other parents and mothers and women trying to build careers while also balancing the joys of motherhood.
Yeah, that's awesome.
um,
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's been a fun experience. And then as I mentioned up front, I started my career in social impact, and one of the things that's been really fun in moving into tech is seeing some of these businesses that are founders and entrepreneurs who are building businesses that are both um, having successful financial outcomes, but also delivering some kind of positive social impact. And
Hmm.
so I really love both meeting with those founders and entrepreneurs and learning about those type of businesses. And I'm always eager to connect with people who are trying to do that.
Well, on the note of connecting, how can we connect with you, and how can we follow your career?
Sure. Yeah. So I'm very active on LinkedIn. That's always a great place to connect with me. I'm also a part of several different SaaS and tech and customer success networks. I guess Pavilion, On Deck, Women in Customer Success, to name a few. And so I love connecting, as I mentioned, with other CS leaders or founders and business leaders who are really trying to build out their customer success team or just doing interesting work.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time today. We really appreciate it. You have a great rest of your day.
Thanks, Ben.